in a place where comments are not enabled, you can head over to my Facebook page, putting my rings on. You can head over to my Facebook page and you'll be able to participate in comments during the replay there, because we leave them open there so that I can come back around, and because you use hashtag replay, I can show up and join you in that space for answering any questions that you might have about today's live stream, which is, of course, the 3 biggest branding mistakes you're making. And so let me know that you're here. Lisa, hello, is tuning in at Facebook. It's good to see you, darling. Let me put this in a better space. Hello, Kirion. Good to see you, my friend. All right. Looks like we are broadcasting through to the YouTube space, which you can also watch at bonniegillespie.com/live. Hello, Kelly, reporting in. David, hello. So good to see you. And of course, this pushes through to Facebook. I had meant to do a quick little Instagram live before this one, and I, of course, did not manage my time very well to get that done, because I'm coming from another meeting and talking with Keith about the game plan for the next 3 things that I have to shoot after this meeting. Hello, Tina. It's so good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, beautiful people. Please make sure that you don't, I was going to say you have the workbook. That's not today. That's not today. I have a thing coming up later this week that I'm going to want you to have a workbook for. So I'm in my brain space of what do y'all need to have to be able to have the best experience today. And I'm flashing forward to Friday. Hello, Lenka. Hello, Caroline. So good to see you. Yes, a great way to spend a Tuesday afternoon. I agree. Hello, KD. Hello, Yuli. Have y'all hugged yourself today? Because my God, even if you have, do it again. Do it again. Because we are not getting enough physical touch right now. We're not getting to see enough people and have enough squeezing. And so let's make sure that we take care of a little bit of that business in our own hands. Yes. All right, you beautiful people. We are talking today about the 3 biggest branding mistakes that hopefully you're not making. Hopefully, if you're making any, you're making 1. And if you're making 1, we can get that hopefully dialed in a little bit more today. But so let me, real quick, I'm just too excited because I have built, that's all I can say. And I have built, well, these are just lists, so that's not as exciting to look at, right? Okay, but wait. We hired a map maker, a designer, who created these amazing steps. We're out of focus. Let's see if I can get it to come back and focus over here. Come back in focus. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We have all the steps along the journey. There is actually a map that has been created for this framework, and I'm so freaking excited, but I completely blew out my focus when I did that. Can I bring it back? I did. Yay. Okay, good. Whew. So because I'm so excited about that, I am looking at everything that we do with self-management for actors through a whole new lens. Self-management for actors. I could actually just point right there. It's in that poster. Self-management for actors, of course, not just for actors. I got feedback on that starting in the first edition, 2003. People saying, this is not just for actors, right? And I'm like, shh. It's for actors. It's just for actors. People are like, no, it's for all artists. And then people are like, it's for anyone who's creative. And, seriously, everybody's creative. I don't know if you've met any accountants. They're plenty creative. So anyway, everybody's creative. Everybody's doing a storytelling journey. And yes, a lot of the principles for self-management for actors work for people outside of show business, but that's my area of expertise, and that's where I spend most of my time, except for now more and more the astrologer's daughter time. Oh my gosh, it's just so cool to see all this stuff apply around all populations, because we all have a brand. The brand is, let's first of all, take brand and type and explain what the difference is between type and brand. Your brand is the umbrella under which all your types live. So your brand umbrella is that short thing that if someone's describing you or telling someone, oh, you know who you should cast, you know who you should meet, you know who you need to know, and then they mention your brand umbrella almost always. And then the types that you can play as an actor, or the types of writing you can do as a writer, or the types of storytelling that you're about are the micro under that macro brand. But that brand umbrella, that's the thing that people are saying about you And hopefully, if you've done a really good job in all your materials out in the world, they're saying the right stuff. They're not leading people to the wrong version of you with what they're saying. Hi, Caroline. I'm so glad you could join us today. Hooray. Awesome. So, when we talk about brand, you are always, always getting a brand message out in front of the world. You're either doing it deliberately or by default. And when you're not deliberate with the message that you're putting out there, like running everything through the brand filter, taking that moment to go, is this on brand? If this is the only thing someone ever bumps into from me, does it tell the story of brand Bonnie Gillespie or whatever your brand is? Hi, Anna Maria, so good to see you. Does it say brand Anna Maria? And if everything that I put out into the world, if the way I speak about myself and other things and people and politics and what I'm passionate about and my values, if that all feels like the brand Bonnie Gillespie experience, then we're in good shape with that. But if I'm not intentionally putting out things into the world that do that brand messaging for me, then people get to make up whatever shit they want about what my brand is. And I don't get the opportunity to steer them toward the more correct information if I'm just branding by default. And most people choose to brand by default, which is they put some stuff out in the world, but they feel like they don't want to bother folks. They're like, my demo reel is not quite ready. I'm waiting for this other clip. I'm not terribly thrilled with how my headshots turned out. So I'm not going to get them all out in the world. And that sort of energy, just not to mention the woo-woo of it and the energy there, but also that sort of timid focus, that timid approach to this is who I am, is felt on the buying side. And when I say buyers, I mean fan base, I mean potential buyers, I mean potential agent, potential partners in business and in life. Like, we're basically giving this impression of, I'm not quite ready to get it out there with intention, so I'm going to let you make up what my brand is. Anna Maria says, you are brilliant at branding yourself. Well, thank you, darling. I have a strong muscle for it. And I would like to say that you're all brilliant for it. You just may not be as practiced as I am. But you're here, so we're going to practice. So if you did not get the Bond Blast, I actually have this written up at my website. So you can go to bonniegillespie.com. And as of the time that this is live, the most recent blog post is the 3 biggest branding mistakes that hopefully you're not making. Thank you, Stephanie. I am such a fangirl for this sweater, and I was so glad that it was cold enough this morning for me to put this one on, because this, yes, is very much a hello sweater. And of course, it's Aries moon, so I got the fire energy. I'm leaning into it. You know that. Build that muscle, Kelly. It is, but that's all it is. It's a muscle, and it gets stronger the more we use it. I was talking with someone yesterday who said, gosh, I wish I could get more comfortable on camera and doing live streams. And I'm like, oh, that's so easy. It's so easy. It is a muscle. You just start showing up for it. If you go back in time to my very first Facebook Live, which was done in 2009, yes, there was a way you could do a tiny, tiny, tiny little video on your Facebook profile back in 2009. And it was just a tiny embedded like status update. And I have my very, very, very first one of those. It's still up on YouTube because, of course, I downloaded it, pulled it all down from Facebook when I closed off my friend account and moved all that video over to YouTube, because I was like, we cannot lose this gold that is me in 2009, like sweating in the middle of the summer wearing this little string tank top and obsessing over how crooked my bottom teeth were. So like, you just have to start showing up and building the muscle, and I swear it does get easier. You get stronger at it. Heather, it's absolutely my pleasure. Katie says, is the Aries moon why I'm kicking so much ass lately? Has like 5 different Aries placements. Okay, probably, Katie, it's because Mars is in Aries right now. And so sure, the Aries moon has something to do with the right now of energy versus yesterday, because yesterday, Pisces moon, no kind of energy for getting shit done. And when I finally did have the energy to get shit done, my technology all went to hell. Like, everything exploded. And I went, well, there you go. I'm not supposed to be doing this kind of work, which is why I did all of this paperwork yesterday, because I had no choice but to work on paper. But because because Mars is in Aries, that's probably, with that many placements, what's firing you up right now. Anyway, as we take a look at the brand conversation, it's so important to know where the problem is if you're feeling stuck, because this goes back to my JFDI with Bond pop-up that I did earlier this year, where I taught creative entrepreneurs how to get their business up and running and make their lives a little more economy proof. At a time when it's like, oh my God, I just lost the survival job that I was always counting on. What do I do? I'm like, helped 80 something people go through this pop-up course to get their online offerings up. And so many of them are bringing in money now, and they're having a fantastic little sale season here as we kick off the beginning of the holidays in the United States. And of course, they're working all over the world, and it's phenomenal. What I said was, there's very rarely a block that covers all the parts. And so when people say, oh, I can't make money online because I suck at it, I can't do that, I'm like, there's actually 5 ingredients. Which of those 5 is blocking you? Because all we got to do is fix that one, and then the other 4 are already working. So then that one getting fixed fixes the whole system. Very similar for your online brand. For your in-person brand, really, it's just we're not doing as much in-person stuff right now, but it's still universally, your brand messaging has 3 main pieces. And it's probably not that you've got it all messed up. If you're one of those people who's like, I don't have my brand figured out, it's not one of the things. Sorry, it's not the whole thing of that. It's one of those ingredients. So what are the ingredients? All right, they are: you do not have a true north anchor, number 1. That's number 1. And I'll spend a little more time on each of these momentarily, but let me do the list. And if somebody will put these in the chat as well, that would be super helpful, because then we can get you to see them visually as well as hearing me say them on this broadcast. Number 2, you have a lack of data. So number 1 is you lack a true north anchor. Number 2 is you have a lack of data. And number 3 is that you are unwilling to use that true north plus that data to get incredibly specific with everything that you do and say, because usually you're afraid you will alienate some buyers if you were to get too specific or too niche down. So thank you. Oh gosh, you guys are wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody's putting this stuff in the chat. So super helpful. Thank you, thank you, Lenka. Thank you, Marza. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Anna Maria. Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, y'all are awesome. Yes, okay, perfect. So here's what I will ask you, beautiful people. Which of these 3 feels like it's your snag? It's your snag. Which one feels like your snag? You don't have a true north anchor, or you don't even know what I mean when I say a true north anchor. That's okay. Admit that. That's fine, because we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it right here, right now, today. Promise. You lack data about what's working and what's not, and who you are in the eyes of the buyers. Or you've got the true north and you've got the data, but you still don't trust it and don't want to narrow things down to line up that way. Thank you, Lenka. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Fabulous. Heather says it's 2. It's I lack data. Yeah. So if you lack data, Heather, do you know how to go get it, even if not yet from buyers? Oh, and now Heather's saying maybe 3. Maybe 3. Okay, that's okay. Anna Maria says mine is 3. I'm afraid I'm not high profile enough for the projects that would be perfect for me. Anna Maria, here's a question I have for you. I don't disagree with that, but here's the question that brings up in me hearing that from you is, if you could look at what those high profile projects that are most aligned for your true north. If you could take a look at that and imagine what the baby sister would be to those projects. Like, if there's this big studio franchise superhero movie that's multi hundreds of millions of dollars in budget, what is the Sundance Film Festival indie version of that project? What do the stars of that big budget action franchise studio feature film do when they're not doing multi-million dollar projects? What's the slum in it? What's the I took it on for the script. I love the director. I just, the story was so yummy that I had to say yes to it, even though it's below my quote. What is it there? What is it that they are saying yes to a tier below where you feel aligned brand wise? Let's play with that. Marta says 3 for sure. Don't trust. Stephanie says 3 and striving. I like that because it's trending upward. I know where my block is and I see the way out. I'm just not ready to step out of the ditch. Not just yet. Carry On says 3 as well. Okay. I'm not seeing a lot of 1. And the 2 I saw earlier then came back and said, no, wait, it's a 3. Is it a 3 for everybody? Is it that you've got your true north figured out? You know where it is that you want to go. You know who you are as a storyteller. You know what your voice is at its most aligned and its most on message and its most purposeful. And you've got the data about who you are and how you're showing up and what your tools are getting in terms of when they land in front of somebody, like what sort of feedback you're getting off your headshot, resume, demo reel, website, etc. You've got those. Check. And it's just the third element that's feeling iffy. Elements of 3 for me, but I just remedied it, I think. Kelly, will you tell us how you remedied it? You think? I'd love to know more. KD says, I feel generally solid on these, but could probably afford to be even more specific about my true north. I think when I visualize mine, it looks a few different ways, and I see how that can snowball affect 2 and 3. Well spotted, Katie. Very well spotted. Anna Maria says, wow, yes, I could. I'm going to make a list. Thank you. You are welcome. Aren't you glad you showed up for today's free live stream? Hooray! 3 for sure, says Caroline. Greg says, being out of a major market, if I wanted to make a film, it has to not only be the Sundance version, but I have to make the film myself or come back to a major market. Greg, I am willing to bet that while it is likely that you will have to be some sort of producing partner for it where you currently live, you are not the only person in your market who feels exactly this way. So your work is to find that maybe small, but still group of people who all know if we're going to make shit happen, we got to do it ourselves. So it's not just you. Tina says, I'm still kind of working out all 3 things. Oh, Tina. Okay, great. Well, we're about to do a visualization for True North. So if you're watching while like driving or walking or bicycling or whatever it is that might have you out in the world, hope you're wearing a mask, you could do the True North visualization later. But for those who are in a place where you can sit and do a little closed eyes visualization with me, I would love it if we could do a little journey. If you have never done the True North visualization with me, you can just Google Bonnie Gillespie True North, and there are at least 2 different ways that I've done it that currently live on YouTube, and we do this in our membership program, Getting Gear for the Next Tier, which, by the way, we are going to do a private sale this week and into the weekend, but I will tell you more about that a little later. We will be having our live round in January 1st. So if you want a lot of hand-holding with this kind of work, we've got that. But the 2 versions that are currently on YouTube, one is longer, one is shorter. So, but we're going to do a little one here. Where'd it go? Marza says, I have some upper limit fears about 1. I think, great, we're about to do that. We're gonna knock that shit out. Okay, Kelly says, new headshots, very specific, and now I'm afraid they're too specific. Okay, Kelly, you spotted it. Lisa says, I'm starting to see my true north, and I'm still working on all 3. Lisa, I think technically we all always work on all 3. It's kind of like being in a car and having the GPS realize you took a different route, and it says recalibrating, recalibrating, recalibrating. I think we're always recalibrating, because each time we book something, each time we go through something big in our lives, like things start to adjust a wee bit. We meet new people, we set new goals, we get fired up about some new thing, and that vision, it readjusts, it recalibrates. Just got the selects back day before yesterday, Kelly. Wow. Peter's still working out True North. And Kelly again says, it's my enoughness that hasn't caught up with what these shots show. I just got chills. I got like soul shivers on that one. Kelly, holy crap. Do you realize what it means if you are exhibiting the external effects of all this enoughness work, and there's still just that lack of belief in it? Like that's of course what expansive capacity is for, and I know you're doing that work with us starting next month, because that is exactly that. Yes. Oh my god, I'm so happy, like seriously, I'm so happy. Gig, yes. Katie, getting gear for the next tier. We will be reopening for a short sale on Friday. So spoiler alert, we will be open for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with a bonus. So definitely, if you've been considering doing getting gear for the next tier, you will want to sign up during this 4-day, 3.5-day window, so that you can get the coaching bonus and join us for the live round starting in January. But yes. I know, isn't the GPS a great way to look at that, Anna Maria? Yeah, Kate, me too. I'm always working on all three. Heather says, yes, and from listening to you, I am definitely moving toward meeting more people in the area. The enoughness catches me at times. It catches all of us at times, Heather. It catches everyone. It catches Mariah damn Carey. Okay, because she requires that in interviews she be seated so that the interviewer is on her left, because of the way she wants to be seen on camera. Enoughness catches everybody. It is a muscle, and even if we work on it regularly, it still has, because it's got roots in primal brain, so it still has the ability to ding us at times. So you're in great company with that. Kate says, who knew I had a German maid in me? I got cast on 2 network shows being German. Congratulations, Kate. That's fabulous. Fabulous. Okay, and Tina's totally feeling what Kelly said. Yeah, that's big. That's big. I'm so stoked about that. All right, let's do a quick visualization. We're gonna make sure that True North is really hitting clarity for you, I guess is the best way to say it. I want that True North to be something that is so yes that you can turn it on like just a light switch. And when I ask you, how's your True North, you're able to go flick and then go to it and go, yep, we're good. And then you don't ever turn it off really, but you can go away and trust that True North is anchored, because having that anchored is the answer to so much of what we do in this system that is all about getting to the next tier. And all the elements that are a part of this really do require that True North be clear. So let's get clear on that right now. If you're at a place where you can close your eyes and sit in a way that feels peaceful and anchored and centered and grounded, that would be amazing. If not, you can come back around and watch this part later. I like to put one hand on my heart and the other on my gut, which is my second brain, second heart, the place where all the instincts live. And doing this as I close my eyes and just pay attention to my breathing really gets me feeling where in my body I may need a little extra love, and I send a little extra love beam that way. It also lets me know where I'm holding tension that maybe I wasn't aware of, and I can send a little space to the places in my body that might be pinging me right now. And the goal with the breath for me is to make the exhale twice as long as the inhale. What happens when I do that is I calm down the amygdala, which is that primal brain space that is on high alert and certainly has been all sorts of activated this year in particular, but always, we find ways to be stressed out using primal brain. And that extra long exhale tells that part of the brain you can relax. You don't actually need to be on as high alert as you have been. And the reason that's important is we are less creative when we are on high alert. We are less tuned in to signals our body is giving us. We're less tuned in to signals the universe is giving us, God, source, however you want to label it. We have less vision for who we are and who we want to be in the world when primal brain is in charge. So one more breath, deep if you can. With that exhale going twice as long as the inhale. And you should feel that that lands just a little deeper each time. And I want us now to take a trip to that place in the future, wherever you just flashed is right. There's no calendar that you need to check to make sure you picked the right future. Wherever your brain just went, that was the one. Stay there. You're at this future moment, and you are at this moment in the exact spot that you were put on this earth to occupy. You are exactly where you're meant to be on this storytelling journey, in your creative life, in this space that you just flashed forward to. You could be in hair and makeup, getting ready to go on set. You could be on the set, getting ready for action. You could be on a stage, holding up something gold and shiny, thanking Bonnie Gillespie. You could be around your friends and family, celebrating that place that is your true north and how awesome it is that you have had this moment. This space, this true north, is the story you were born to tell. It is why you have a creative voice. It is the reason you had this gift planted in you and this desire to express yourself creatively rather than traditionally. And in this space, everything is aligned. The writer wrote the script just for you. And if you're the writer, you wrote this script just for yourself. The director is there, meant to direct you. It is exactly the director who is aligned with this life's work of yours. Your co-stars are exactly the people that you've always known you are meant to call your peers, your friends, your fellow lighthouses, creating this Hollywood that you want to be a part of. And if you are watching and you're not in showbiz, your version of this True North vision is you at the top of your game, feeling a sense of ease and connectedness and rightness of purpose. And you are so incredibly clear that this is the moment that when people talk about you and your career and who you've been in the world at that end of life retrospective that they show of your best of moments in your whole life, this is the one that is that big takeaway moment of everything being perfectly aligned. And while you're in this space, take a breath. Really anchor that as you look around and take in all the senses. Maybe you can feel the texture of the clothes that you're wearing. You can smell some things. You can hear some things. Really take it all in and anchor it right here and now. And as you're in that space, feeling so at home and so connected and so right and so on purpose, I want you to take a moment to say, everything has been worth it. Because this true north moment that's in your future is what you're striving for every moment of every day when it gets hard. And I want you to really sit in the glory that is that true north space. And as you look around one more time and see who's there and feel the warmth of being there, and take one more deep breath. Anchor that vision so securely so that you have it as a touchstone to come back to. I want you to really notice, looking around, at what things are so completely in common with the life you currently have. It may not be a lot, but there are things that are exactly in that place already. It may be one of the people that's near you. It may be that crooked smile that you have. It may be that joke you just shared with someone, that sense of humor that you already have right now. I want you to start following back that thread from that true north that you've set to you sitting here right now with me today. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose if you can, blink open your eyes if you had your eyes closed, and join me in a self-hug of woo! How'd that feel? How did that feel? Did you go on the trip with me? I love that so much. I love that so much. Really let that get into your cells. That true north vision is seriously one of my favorite things. Like, I've been sober 4 years. The closest thing I get to really tripping is like that. And it's amazing and far better than any of that. Totally went on the trip. Good with all the O's. Great. So good. Awesome, Kelly. Awesome, Kate. Good to see you, Justine. Hello, Becky. Stephanie, I get teary every time I do this. Every time. That means you've got it rooted. You've got it, Stephanie. It's because you know that you're connected to it already. You've put that true north out there, and you know that you're connected to it. You can feel it. You have it in your cells. David says, "Holy snap!" Yes, you're welcome, Kate. Good, Anita. I'm glad. Carry on. Feeling fired up. Good. Caroline says, "Amazing. Very emotional and very very much." Yes. Yep. Tears. Okay. Please know that true north vision will change over time. It's always going to have some of those components, but as you meet new people, as you meet new versions of yourself, as you get fired up about more things, as you get disillusioned by some things that may have previously taken up a lot of space in your life, your true north version will shift and recalibrate. And that's totally normal. Tina says, "Not sure why, but I just cried most of the way through that." Tina, it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. Kate got tears. Anna Maria says, "Heavenly." David said, "Just logged in right before the visualization. So thankful. I love how the quality of your teaching shifts when you tap into breath." Yeah, it does, David. So helpful. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart. You're welcome. Good. So the 3 branding mistakes. Number 1, lack of true north anchor. The reason that true north anchor is number 1 is because if we're just kind of playing at it with, I don't really know who I am as a storyteller. I don't really know what I want to say. I don't really have a message that feels important. I don't actually find joy and purpose when I use my talents. It's just a thing. You're not driven by the reason you have those talents. And being driven by the reason you have those talents is what makes you more connected with everyone who can co-conspire to help you get farther faster with that. Yes. So it's not a problem if you can't connect to a true north, but maybe your true north is about I want to have fun, and creating feels like fun. And it doesn't have to be about I want to be a voice for this community that doesn't have a voice otherwise. It doesn't have to mean that there is a story you were born knowing you wanted to tell. It really can be as simple as I want to have fun, and the way I have the most fun is getting to create things that didn't exist before. It's a big driver for me. I love making things that didn't exist before. I get bored if I do the same thing every day. So I'm always, it's why I took the entire self-management for actors and getting gear for the next tier curriculum and the SMFA enoughness blueprint and put it all, look at me, drawing all the different kinds of circles to try and figure out exactly how I wanted to reframe it, because I love the build. I love the puzzle piece making. That to me is incredibly exciting. So that's a big part of my true north. That's one of my values. Feel free to journal a little bit about some of what you visited in your true north, because what you're going to start looking for is places in your creative career that you are being given signs and seeing landmarks and getting a glimpse of your true north vision. Like the path is lighting up for you all the time. Often though, we get so busy into I have to make $1, I have to get cast in anything, I have to say yes to everything, I can't be bothered with branding because right now I just have to be desperate and say yes to everything. We get so in that space, that lack mentality, that we miss the signs that if we just said yes to this thing that's lighting up the path to the true north, it would actually advance us far faster up that path and with way more ease. But we can't see that solution when we're so mired in the problem that we may be feeling. JC says, I used to feel morally inferior for thinking that it's just about having fun and being all the things. JC, I am big into fun. One of my big 5, we have 5 rules of all things that we do. And rule number 5, which I still say should be number 1, is have fun. Because if it's not fun, why the fuck are we doing it? If it's not fun, why are we doing it? Honestly, life is not meant to be torture. It's not meant to have a stranglehold on us of perfectionism and getting it right. It's supposed to be freaking fun. Jeez. Yes. Yes. David says True North is such a specific moment in so many ways, but the project that has put me in the position is still a mystery. David, isn't that life? Isn't that life? That the project itself doesn't yet have a name. It doesn't even have a log line, but it has a feeling. It has a feeling because you just visited it and you'll know it. You'll know it when you feel it. It's not you know it when you see it. You know it when you feel it. I have always thought that quote was wrong. It's not you know it when you see it. No, it's not you know it when you see it. It's you know it when you feel it. Justine says, yes, signs and landmarks, always on the lookout for those that light up the path. Right on. Right on. Yes, 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 yes. So important. Yes. Definitely has a feeling. Right. That's it. That's it. So you now have your number 1 taken care of, or you're on your way. You can rewatch this and do the visualization again. You could watch either of the others that are out on YouTube. Again, just Google Bonnie Gillespie True North and you'll bump into it. Of course, we have one that's guided as a part of our 100 days. So I will meet y'all in the dojo for those of you who are members. And those of you who want to join me, let me put this up real quick before I forget. Those of you who want to join me on Friday, go here. I am doing a free training on Friday. Yes, I know it is Black Friday. It is the day after Thanksgiving. Everybody's supposed to be out shopping and crushing one another at the door and tackling each other to try and get the latest toy or game or whatever. Y'all, don't be stupid. stay home, wear your damn mask, come join me at noon Pacific on Friday for a free training in which I am going to roll out the 3 must-have ingredients for next year's success. And yes, of course, there's a whole lot more than 3. Oh my God. Of course, but there's 3 ingredients that are must-haves for your next year's success, and we are going to go through them together on Friday. And when I'm finished with this right now today, I am building the workbook that is this, so that y'all don't have to look at my chicken scratch. You're going to actually have a workbook. But go sign up now, and we will meet back. I believe it's on a Zoom. We will meet on a Zoom for the webinar, but you can get all the information right there, and tell your friends, because that's what y'all need to be doing rather than going out shopping. Lenka has dropped the link in the chat at Facebook. Yes, need to come back for the replay, says Lelia. Okay, great. Awesome. Anna Maria laughing. Better places to be, like the webinar. Far better. Yes, Justine, for sure. And also, if someone could drop that same link in the chat at the YouTube version, that would be super helpful. Thank you for helping out. Y'all are amazing. Yes, of course there's a workbook. Stephanie, it has become one of my great joys to create workbooks for the things. I did not used to do that, but I am now feeling less low enoughness around workbooks because I have like Canva templates and stuff. But this was a hard one to find. There's not like a template for this, so I had to kind of create it. Good news, it's circles with pie pieces. I can make that. I could totally make that. Heather says, yes, planning on Friday with kids at home. I'd like to be working actor in Chicago, being able to go back home and share stories, working toward that goal. I love it, Heather. Really good. Yes, Ninja Scratch makes magic. Justine, I love you. Awesome. Caroline is registered. Fabulous. Tina, of course, my pleasure. My pleasure. Bridget says, I do the True North visualization each month to check in again and journal about it. It's different every time, and I'm hoping to find the data points that make that connective tissue of my True North. So, Bridget, one of the things that I would say about that is you're good. You're right to do it monthly. Sounds good. I like that. I don't know if I would do it far more frequently than that, although some folks like to get into that space even as a part of their daily check-ins. You know, don't do the full big emotional version of that True North that really guts you and like whoa, like goes whoosh all over you every day, because that's a lot, and our nervous systems right now just need to calm the fuck down. But if we can check in with that once a month, for sure. But I really like the idea of noticing what it always has in common. So then this takes us to number 2, which is the data. Anna Maria is registered. Great. Let me put this link up here one more time. If you have not yet registered, go do that now, because this is a free webinar with a workbook. Thank you, Stephanie. With a workbook. Now I got to do it. Because I promised the workbook. So we're going to go over the 3 must-have ingredients to your next tier success. So go ahead and put that in your calendar for noon Pacific on Friday, the day after American Thanksgiving. Please do not go out and shop at outlet malls and such. Support a local business, but support them virtually. Support a small business, and support a Black-owned business. Support a female-owned business. Support a trans-owned business. I mean, you know, vote with your money, your values. Like, do that. That would be amazing. Okay, great. So, number 2, you do not have enough data. Okay. If you don't have enough data, this is super easy. The way you get your data is create surveys. And if you have never created a brand survey, you can Google Bonnie Gillespie brand survey and come upon a 75-minute training video that I did, and also a, yes, Stephanie, workbook that I created for how to create a castable type and brand survey using a Google form. So Google has this free thing called a form. If you go to Google and look up survey, they'll try and sell you their paid product. You don't need that one. You could just do a Google form, and I give you a checklist for all the settings and everything. The reason it's important to follow that method is because I want you getting clean data. Listen, no shock. One of my favorite parts of grad school was the data, was statistics, was getting patterns to track. You can't do that if you're sloppy in your methodology. If you are inconsistent in the way you ask for help, if you get in the way of your data, oh my God, thank you so much. I so appreciate that. You've already now swayed what other people are going to do when they fill out your form, because they're going to see you being grateful, and you've got to stay dispassionate. You got to be a researcher. You got to be in a lab coat. You don't actually, but I mean, you can if that turns you on, but you need to be so detached from the process of gathering data that you let that instrument, that survey that you've created using my guidelines, go out into the world and get data. And I want you to get clean data. I want you to get a lot of data, because then the patterns cannot hide. You have patterns even if you only get 10 responses to your survey. You just can't see them as clearly. Justina's registered to jam on Friday. Fabulous. Tina says, registered last night. I'm in Australia and will be there with bells on if I'm not on set. Tina, fabulous. That makes me so happy. So I will be seeing you super early on your Saturday morning, if my world clock brain math is correct. I want you to get good data. I want you to get data you can use. I want you to have patterns that are so clear that even with only 10 responses, the patterns are undeniable. But the more data you get, the more the patterns are clear. And something that people like to argue with me on about this is that the data you're getting from the world is not what your buyers think about you. So if you're an actor, you're saying, well, these aren't casting directors that gave me this data. Honey, they people. They people. Like, the people giving you data are people, and the people who are casting directors are people. Statistically, you will, if you survey let's see, how many casting directors are in LA right now? I know it dropped a little because of COVID. A lot of people retired, just chose this year to be the year that they stopped working in the industry or moved into something else in the industry. I still think even with the current, with the drop a little bit, we are looking at 690 something casting directors in Los Angeles alone. And in New York, you've got still just over 100, because it dropped there as well, especially with Broadway and live theater closing. We're looking at, let's say altogether, the two biggest markets on the planet make 800 casting directors. If you got 800 responses to your castable brand survey, you are getting exactly the same demographic data that would pan out statistically for that population of buyers within probably a couple of percentage points off. Like the tolerance for data being ragged with that is very small. What I mean by that is just get the data, because the people are the people are the people, and the larger population is represented by the microcosm that you survey. And if you're like, I need to get more people who are not in the industry to give me responses, I give you a fantastic tip in the aforementioned type and brand survey workbook and video training that you can find if you Google Bonnie Gillespie brand survey. The tip is to go to Reddit, and there is a subreddit that's specifically designed for survey taking, and then just put your brave, I can handle it troll goggles on before you read the responses, because there will be trolls there who just want to create havoc and call you names and say bad things about you to get under your skin, because that's their hobby. I used to say, oh, you seriously need to get a hobby, you internet troll. And then I realized internet troll is the internet troll's hobby. Like that is like, I do pole fitness, they do internet trolling. So there you go. Yes, get your scientific thinking on. Yes, exactly, Anna Maria. Yes. Brian, lack of true north vision is number 1. Lack of data is number 2. And we're going to take care of number 3 next. David says, the data part always trips me up. Ego is a real beast. Have to trust that I don't always know best. David, here's what I would ask. Could you say, what does next tier me think of this? Like, ask that question. What does next tier true north me think of this situation? And you're going to find oftentimes this version of you has a very different opinion about ego bound small you, now you things, and that helps, because I go, next tier me thinks that da, 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 da. I'm like, millionaire me thinks that da, 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 da. You know, got called to be on Oprah me has the da, da, da. She thinks all, like, I want to spend more time as that person even now, so I consult with her on the regular. Try that. Kelly says, it was so helpful getting data, did a 30-second silent video of me, got so much specific feedback, and it totally went into my headshot session last week. Got 3 specific archetypes from my essence responses. Awesome. Kelly, that's putting in the work right there. Kelly, by the way, is in our 100-day program. This is all stuff that we guide y'all through, but most importantly, the enoughness. Kelly will tell you. You can have all the tools in the world. You can have all the tactics that I am going to open my brain and give to you. If your enoughness is low, it won't matter. JC says, casting directors are made of people. Yes, just like Soylent Green. I hope I'm saying that right. David says, I guess I'm hearing from you, the more people I get, the more I can trust the results accuracy. David, what it is the patterns get clearer the more that you survey, and it means the outliers fall away. Because if you only get 10 answers and 2 people said something that's an outlier, it doesn't yet look like an outlier, because 2 is a pretty big pattern for 10. But when you survey 20 people and only 4 have said that thing, and then with 20 you have 17 who've said this other thing, you can start to throw out the outliers and really get narrowly focused on what it is that the data is telling you. Good. Kelly says, yeah, we can't see ourselves. Ego is a beast. Right. Yep. There's also survey swap, says S. Thompson Studio. Noted. Survey swap. Bam. Fabulous. I will add that to the workbook. Oh my God, I get to go in and edit the workbook. How happy am I? Yeah, isn't it, Justine? I love asking myself that question. Yeah, future self me, future me. She ain't bothered by this shit. Yeah, she ain't bothered by this shit. Yes, Sarah. Would it be better to have more people who don't know you to take the survey, or more people who do know you? Sarah, here's what I would do. I would include a question in the survey that is, do we know each other in real life? And then track the data of people that have never met you and people who know you. And here's what that's going to distill out. So write this down. This one's important. All of it's important. Write this part down, especially. The people who know you better are going to come closer to identifying next tier you roles, like guest stars and series regulars, and who you are closer to that true north, because they know your heart. They know you personally. People who've never met you are just going off the picture. And because they're going after going off that one tool when they're giving you results, it's just first impression, and they have no person-to-person energy match to go off of. And that's why when Kelly was talking about doing the silent 30-second video, she got fantastic words to then use in her headshot session, because that silent video gives off a vibe that's different from a static photo, a 2D photo. And so having that as data that then helps you go for things that match that in your headshot session is a really ninja way to work this out. And so that's of course part of what Kelly has learned how to do and mastered, and now is having an enoughness wrestle match about through our 100-day program. And again, if y'all are not already signed up, get signed up here, and I'm going to continue looking at these. Yes, enoughness is everything, Stephanie. Enoughness is everything. Katie says, collecting data with these surveys is stupid helpful. I appreciate Bonnie talking about trolls. I learned a lesson in sharing my survey with other actors who knew me in person, and one of whom ended up being a total hater. Yep, mansplained his opinions all over email instead, which aligned with the data anyway, but come on now, why not just do the survey? Didn't take it personally, but it taught me to be mindful of who I share this work with. More importantly to me, KD, is it allows you to not take personally that kind of attitude when it comes at you from any channel. Because to be talented in front of others is to let crazy know where you live. Yes, that's a Bonnie Gillespie original. You can write that one down. You can tweet it. To be talented in front of others is to let crazy know where you live. That's all right. That's all right. Crazy can know where I live. Crazy can know where I live. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah. Yep. Tina says checking in with your future self is a wonderful tool that I'll definitely start to use because she is absolutely more confident than the now me. Tina, she is more practiced at enoughness. Your future self, your next tier self, is just more practiced with enoughness, and you're going to start doing enoughness workouts with me now and on Friday on the free webinar, and hopefully you're going to sign up for our Getting Gear for the Next tier and join us in the 100 days and do so during a live round in January, which is amazing, and get a coaching bonus with me and all stuff that I'll tell you about on Friday, because I really want to be able to support you with this, and that coaching bonus is fire. So the third mistake that you're making with your brand is you have the true north vision, you have the data, but you're scared. You're scared. You're scared to let all of your tools line up with what you know. Yes, to be talented in front of others is to let crazy know where you live. Yeah. Tattoo that on your forehead, Katie. It's going to change your castability a little bit to have that tattoo there, but I feel you. Anna Maria says I'm going to do the silent video survey. I've only ever done the headshot ones. Yep. Skirt. Yep. If you get skirt, because it flies in the face of all the fear you've ever had to niche down, to get specific, to get ultra focused, that my headshot is selling, bam, and my demo reel is selling, bam, and my bio is selling, bam, and my cover letter is selling, bam, and my resume is selling, bam, and my web presence is selling, bam, at social media and my website and on the casting profiles, and you cannot look at any of my shit and wonder, who am I at the next tier, is very confronting. Here's why it's confronting. 2 reasons. 1, you're still based in fear and low enoughness, and you're afraid it won't work. So you're going to keep throwing spaghetti at the wall and keep looking for scraps and keep saying yes to everything and never really build your brand and never get anywhere. Who's tired of that shit show? Or you're not at all afraid of narrowing down. You're actually having an upper limit problem. And you're afraid of what success looks like because you're less practiced at it. And suddenly being successful, stepping into your full enoughness, means shedding people that can't handle that. It means making a liar out of everybody in your family that ever told you you're ridiculous for pursuing this dream. It makes wrong everyone who ever doubted you. It potentially makes you a target for haters and scammers and shady business managers. It is lonely to be successful at the next tier because you don't have a big peer group that you have when you're a struggling artist. Because when you're a struggling artist, you have everybody in the world to complain with you and help you enjoy how hard it is, because the struggle is fun. It's not. It's just fucking common. Did I say a word? I think I said a word. JC said, do get in gear. Done it twice. We'll keep repeating it. Yes, sir. Feel like I'm facing my fears every day. Tina, great. Keep doing that workout. Keep doing that workout. Bridget said, afraid of what success looks like because I'm less practiced at it. Yup. This right here, says Kelly. This right here. And Anna Maria says, success is indeed terrifying at times. Yep. It's so lonely, Sam. It's so lonely. And one of my favorite things about being as successful as I am now is I have a go-to list of friends who are my biz besties, and we can text one another at any hour with, okay, scary thing, and then we see each other and we're able to say, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, and a few words that help recenter that focus so that we can be brave for one more minute. Because it's just that amygdala, that same thing that we had to calm down when we started the True North vision half an hour plus ago. That same primal brain comes up and says, you're a bigger target if you're out as a leader, successful, living your dreams, having money in the bank, smiling because you know you're making a difference in the world. You're a bigger target. And primal brain says, we don't want to be a bigger target. We would like to stay safe and small. My biz besties, David. My biz besties. Yeah. My biz besties. Sometimes you'll see me giving them shout outs in my Instagram, especially in my stories, because we regularly look out for each other. Regularly look out for each other. And they don't all know each other. It's not like it's a group that all is together. I think there is some overlap of knowing one another, but we all have like our posse. Kate says, I love that idea, the go-to list. The longer I do this for smaller, my friend, colleague, pool, it's definitely lonely. Yeah. Leadership is lonely. It's lonely at the top. We've heard this many, many, many times over. Yes. But if we keep outsourcing our enoughness and choosing small me, choosing low tier me, choosing not true north, successful, yes, you can fucking have it all me, if I keep choosing this over here because it feels safer and it feels more approved of by the pack, y'all, someday that pack is gone. And then we look around at our lives and go, who did I choose this for? Yeah, you got to get over that shit like yesterday. Kelly, I'm watching you put in the work, hon. I'm watching you put in the work. I'm just watching you also have some demons that want to come back and say, are you sure? Are you sure you want to be successful? Sure is comfortable back here, lower tier. Y'all, I lost my best friend when I teared up. And I cried. And still, even today, had a moment where I was like, God, I would love to text her something that just happened that I'm so excited about. I can't. We can't hang now. And that's hard. But I also trust, as she does her enoughness work, there's a future her who can meet me up on that path, up again somewhere on one of the exits on this ramp, this highway toward the true north. I believe that. Or we're done. We just needed to be with each other then. Yeah, that's okay. Kelly, she couldn't handle me being sober, and I had to choose sobriety even if it cost me my marriage. I had to choose sobriety. I had to be ready that I could actually be looking at a divorce and being completely alone in choosing sobriety, but I had to because in choosing sobriety I was becoming a different woman than the woman my husband married. So yeah, sure is comfortable back here in the lower tier, Kate. I know that's another one, right? Y'all, this is a lot of work. You didn't know this is what you were showing up to here, huh? Okay, with all this in mind, you beautiful people, which of these three things are you going to shore up right now? And you could say all three, but which one are you going to shore up first? Which one are you going to do a little thing about first? Bridget said, yes, I've lost a lot. I've lost friends because of growing enoughness and choosing sobriety too. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this thinking, wait, I don't want to do Bonnie's 100 days because I don't want to be sober. It's not a sobriety program. There are days that we ask you to go on a social media detox. There are days that we ask you to eliminate things from your life that may be clouding your next tier focus. And there can be people in your world that need to be last here and not come with you on the ride any further. And sometimes that does result in people choosing a sober journey. And of course we can support that, but it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. I am glad I chose self-love and went for the next tier. Yes. Anna Maria. Yes. You're working on number 3, says Anna Maria. Okay, great. Kelly is working on number 3, the enoughness. It's always the enoughness. David is working on data for sure, which is number 2. Great. Kate says, make my besties in the biz list. It's like I have maybe 3 people, but may need to dig deeper. Kate, I'm willing to bet that once you get very clear on what those 3 people have in common, it's almost like writing a breakdown for a script, like you're doing a casting. You write that breakdown for what do those 3 people have in common that make them your biz besties, and that breakdown will now exist as what you're looking for in the next friend that you make. And you will find that the universe is great at conspiring to make this happen. You will populate your life with keepers from that list because you've gotten very specific and you've gotten very clear on what you don't want. You've gotten very clear on who is not a biz bestie, who is a frenemy, who is someone that like hate follows you and is happy when there's an unflattering picture of you out there or whatever. Like we've all had bullshit friends like that. Yeah, you don't need that anymore. Be done with that. That's last tier. Last tier, last tier, last tier. Lisa says, had to stop being a doormat to people and lost a lot of friends, including my best friend. So grateful that you're part of my tearing up to a better place. Lisa, I love you. I am sorry that that happened, and I am so glad that part of your evolving enoughness includes doormat retirement. That's last tier. Done. Number 3 is what Kate is working on. Caroline is going to begin applying all 3. You are welcome, Brian. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I will put up the link one more time. Kate, you may not have frenemies. I did. I probably still do. People who call themselves my friends, but who technically want to see me fail. Like when I have the biggest month in our business and I celebrate, and then the next month we have the lowest month in our business financially, they're like, good, even that shit out. But it's because they can't figure out how to have their biggest month in their business, and so they like seeing that I'm human. And I'm like, oh, there are plenty of ways to see me being human. You don't need to wish ill on my bank account to see me being human. I'm all sorts of messy all the time. It's that that's me being me. Yes. My pleasure, Kelly. Yeah. So last tier, Stephanie. So last tier. I know. All right. Make sure you're signed up to join me on Friday. Tell a friend, y'all. Please spread the word, because there is so much noise right now that I know it's challenging for people to even see the emails that I'm sending, but I'm putting the word out. I'm changing my link in bio to this one for a while, get people routed there. Lenka has dropped the link again in the chat at Facebook. If someone could also drop it over at the YouTube version of these comments, that would be so helpful. Or if you're in the chat roll at bonniegillespie.com/live. Absolutely my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you, guys. Yes, David, Kate, love y'all. Thank you for being here. If you are alumni of Getting Gear for the Next Tier or currently in the program and not yet signed up for tomorrow's Zoom meeting where we're all going to be face on camera and having a success convo about the live round, please reach out to get the link to register for that. I did send it to you in an email, but if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Bonnie, why do I not know all these things? You need to reach out using help@bonniegillespie.com, and my amazing team will get you the link to join us for tomorrow's meeting. Again, that's for grads and current members of Getting Gear for the Next Tier, the 100 days. We're going to be having a special everybody's face on screen meeting tomorrow about how we can build toward success for the new year live round and give you all the support that you need in the dojo. And of course, bracing ourselves for welcoming in new members that will come in over the course of the next couple of weeks. All right, you beautiful people, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's do one last self hug for this moment together, but please don't make this the last self hug of the day. This is a lot of good work. Make sure you hydrate, shake, tap, dance, whatever it is that will make you feel like you've gotten this in on a cellular level, because there's a lot of work involved. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday to go over the 3 must-have ingredients for your next tier success. And by the way, brand, the shit that we just did today is just this one little piece right here. Boom. It's so good. I love you, beautiful people. Can't wait to share this with y'all. Thank you for being here. Be kind to yourselves and each other.